Jam A. De La Peña from BTLAD HE1A, and I am the first reporter from the Study Hub number 3. So today, we are going to tackle about the topic 2, which is Learner-Centered Psychological Principles, or the LCP. So before that, we are going to have our learning outcomes, which is at the end of this module. It is expected that you should be achieve the following learner outcomes, which is the number 1 is discuss the nature of learner-centered, the teaching modalities, the structures, methods, and strategies that facilitate or differentiated the teaching to suit the learners to their gender, needs, strengths, and interests, and also their experiences. And the second one is identify factors that promote learner-centeredness and motivate the learners to work productively and be accountable for their own learning. And the third one is reflect on how developmental and social factors can influence learning environments to promote fairness, respect, and care. And the last one is relate or the RA 10533 and to the K-12 framework to the principle of learner-centeredness. So as a learners, you occupy the center of teaching learning activities that your teacher facilitates the process to ensure your effective learning activities through your experiences. So you're encouraged to explain, describe, and apply the 14 principles that involve in the LCP. So these 14 principles are grouped into 4 general factors, which the number 1 is cognitive and metacognitive factors. Second one is motivational and affective factors. The third one is developmental and social factors. And the last one is individual differences factors. So we proceed to the cognitive and metacognitive factors, which is the cognitive. It is a mental process that includes the knowing, such as perceiving, remembering, and reasoning. So the primary proponent of this cognitive, it is Jean Piaget, a Swiss psychologist who developed the fundamental or the foundational theory of cognitive development. So outlining how children development or actively construct the knowledge through their own stages of development. So other key figures includes those George Armitage or Miller, known for his work on language, memory, and Aaron Beck. And next is the metacognitive factors, which refers to the planning, monitoring, and evaluating. So the proponent of this metacognitive is John Flavel, and it was created on 1970s, and it was known for his works as thinking about thinking. So we have the nature of learning process. So this learning process is the subject matter is most effective when it is an intentional process of construction, meaning from information and experience. So there are different types of learning processes. For example, habit information in motor learning and learning that involves the generation of knowledge or cognitive skills and learning strategies. And also in learning in school emphasizes the use of intentional processes that students can use to construct meaning from information, experiences, and their own thoughts and beliefs. And the second one, which is we have the goals of the learning process, which is the successful learners over time and with support and instructional guidance can create a meaningful, coherent presentations of knowledge. And also, we have the constructions of knowledge. So it has the successful learner can link to new information with existing knowledge in meaningful ways. So knowledge widens and deepens as students continue to build links between new information and experiences and their existing knowledge base. And the fourth one is we have the strategic thinking. So here, the successful learner can create and use repertoire of thinking and reasoning strategies to achieve complex learning goals. So successful learners use strategic thinking in their approach to learning, reasoning, problem solving, and also concept learning. So we have the number 5, which is thinking about thinking. So higher order strategies for selecting and monitoring mental operations facilitate creative critical thinking. So in addition, successful learners know what to do if a problem occurs, or if they are not making sufficient or timely progress toward the goal. So the last one is the context of learning. So learning is influenced by environmental factors, including the culture, technology, and instructional practices. So learning does not occur in vacuum. So teachers play a major interactive role with both the learner and the learning environment.
Good day, I am Jane H. Alarcon, the second reporter of Study Hub 3, and today I will discuss about motivational and affective factors. But first, let's define what is motivational and affective factors. So motivational and affective factors are the drivers of behavior, including intrinsic motivations like personal interests and intrinsic ones like rewards, which influence the effort and directions of the actors. So the proponents of motivational and affective factor is Zoltan Doré, Io Shoda, Kevin McGrew, and psychologists like Abraham Maslow, David McClelland. So these researchers highlights how intrinsic motivations, positive emotion, self-efficiency, and basic psychological needs. So first we have motivational and emotional influences on learning. What and how much is learned is influenced by learners' motivation. Motivation to learn, in turn, is influenced by individuals' emotional states, beliefs, interests, and habits thinking. So second, we have intrinsic motivation to learn. So the learner's creativity, higher order thinking, and the natural curiosity all contribute to motivational to learn. So intrinsic motivation is stimulated by tasks of optimal novelty and difficulty, relevant to personal interests, and providing for personal choice and control. So the third one, we have effects of motivation on effort. So acquisition of complex knowledge skills requires extended learner effort and guided practice. So without learners' motivation to learn, the willingness to exert this effort is unlikely without consertion. So when we say effects of motivation on effort, it is directly increases the effort of individuals put into tasks by providing a driving force for dedication and persistence, influencing both quantity and quality of the people. Thank you.
Good day, I'm Rachel M. Hipolito from BTLET HE1A, and I am the third reporter from Study Hub number 3. Now, I'm going to tackle about developmental and social factors. So, first, what is developmental and social factors? Are internal aspects of an individual's growth, physical, intellectual, emotional, and social, and external elements like interactions with others and their environment, which collectively influence learning and behavior. Theories explaining these factors include Levi-Gotsky's social cultural theory, which emphasizes learning through social interaction and culture, and Erik Erikson's stages of development, which outlines developmental ideas that influence social and emotional growth. Now, we will proceed to the developmental influences on learning. So, developmental influences on learning are the various physical, intellectual, emotional, and social changes occurring in an individual over time that affect their capacity to learn and acquire new knowledge and skills. And lastly, the social influences on learning. So, social influences on learning refer to how an individual behavior, motivation, and knowledge are shaped by their interactions with others and the broader social environment. That's all.
Good day everyone, I am Roslyn B. Araneta. I am the last reporter of Hub 3 and now I will discuss individual differences factors. What is individual difference factors? Are the unique psychological and physical characteristics that differentiate people stemming from heredity, genetic factors and environment, upbringing culture, socioeconomic status, and the key proponents of individual differences factors who significantly contributed to the understanding of these differences include Sir Francis Galton, an early pioneer in the scientific study of human heredity and variation. First, we have the individual difference in learning, refer to the wide range of unique characteristics, abilities, and the preferences that influence how each person learns, including cognitive factors like intelligence and learning styles, as well as personal attributes like motivation, prior knowledge, personality, and cultural background. Second, we have the learning and diversity. Refer to the recognizing and appreciating the vast range of individual differences among learners, encompasses their unique cultural, social, economic, physical, and academic backgrounds, as well as their differing learnings, styles, abilities, and experiences. And last, we have the standard and diversity. Can refer to the benchmark of quality or established procedure like an ISO standard or a specific set of industrial best practices. While diversity is the representation of a wide range of human differences such as race, gender, age, and the socio-economical backgrounds.
So we have the legal and policy frameworks and learner-centered teaching. So here, we have the Republic Act number 10533 entitled An Act Enhancing the Philippine Basic Education System by strengthening its curriculum and increasing the number of years for basic education, appropriating funds, therefore, and for other purposes. Or otherwise, known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, approved on May 15, 2013, and which took effect on July 8, 2013, the Department of Education, or the DepEd, or the Commission on the Cognitive and Emotional and Social Development of Individual Learners and how they interpret life experiences are affected by the prior schooling, home, culture, and community factors. Higher Skills Department Authority, or the TESDA, hereby issued the following rules and regulations to implement the provisions on the Act. So we have the K-12, which is the RA number 10553, which enhanced Basic Act of 2013. And also we have the Section 1. This act shall be known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013. So, the Section 2, which is the Declaration of Policy, the state shall create a functional basic education system that will develop productive and responsible citizens equipped with the essential competencies, skills, and values for both lifelong learning and employment. And it gives every student an opportunity to receive quality education that is globally competitive based on a pedagogical, sound curriculum that is at par with international standards. And we have to broaden the goals of higher education for college preparation, vocational and technical career opportunities, as well as the creative arts, sports, and entrepreneurship, employment in rapidly changing and increasing globally environment, And the C is make education learner-oriented and responsive to the needs, cognitive, cultural capacity, the circumstance and diversity of learners, schools, and communities through the appropriate language of teaching and learning. So we have the K-12 framework, which is the K-12 Philippine Basic Education Curriculum, and also the Technology and Livelihood Education and the Technical Vocational track in TLE in junior high school, which it has exploratory at grade 7 and 8, given the opportunity to explore from a maximum of 4 in TLE mini courses for each level. So it taught 5 basic competencies common to all TLE courses. So learners may earn the Certificate of Competencies or the COC in grade 9 and the National Certificate or the NC 1, 2, and 3 in grade 9 and 10. So the learner may take the vocational or the technical vocational livelihood track in grade 11 and 12 to continue NTLE specialization taken in grade 9 and grade 10. So we have also the K-12 Philippine Basic Education Curriculum, which it has the philosophical and legal basis, nature of the learner, the needs of national and the global community, and needs of the learners. So we have the basic education program, which we have the kinder to grade 6, which is elementary. Junior high school is grade 7 to grade 8, grade 9 and 10. And also we have the senior high school that has a tracks, which is the contextualized track subjects, which it has a core subjects, which is the academic track, technical vocational livelihood track, the sports track, and the arts and design track. And also we have the mother tongue based multilingual education or the MTB MLE, which is the mother tongue as a subject is taught from grade 1 to 3, where the child's mother tongue is used in instruction and learning materials. And also we have the senior high school curriculum, which is the SHS core curriculum, the 8 learning areas, which is the language, humanities, communication, mathematics, philosophy, science, social science, and the PE and health. So that is the discussion of the topic 2, and that's all. Thank you.